Yeah, very slowly. Yeah. I was kind of hit my throat now, and now some of my sinuses.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to Hot Docs, the show with hot questions and even hotter doctors. I'm your unpaid intern, Gabe Vasquez, and I'm here with PGY2 Ophthalmology resident, Dr. Pat Donegan. Pat, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. Super stoked.
You ready for some spicy wings?
Let's do it.
We'll get started with, I can't read it, Louisiana's Pure Cristal.
Cristal.
Yeah. I can't see very well. All right.
It's so good.
Okay, Pat. So when you were applying to college, you were thinking about a lot of different careers. And you even thought about marine biology. Is that correct?
That's right.
Ended up going to honor your Irish ancestry. You went to Notre Dame.
Yep.
And after you graduated, you researched entomology.
It's the study of bugs.
So at that point, you were living like a 6-year-old boy's dream.
Exactly.
But then you went to doctor school for medicine.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about why you did that?
Yeah, sure. So doctor school was kind of like always the plan because my parents hated their jobs and they wanted me to be a doctor because it was just like a solid job, steady income, just kind of like the American dream a little bit. Obviously not a whole bunch of marine biology in South Bend, Indiana, being pretty far from the coast, but I was really close to going to UC San Diego and then just doing marine biology.
Okay.
Sometimes I kind of like regret not doing that when I hear stories of friends that like go on like diving trips and scuba dive for a living. But then they also have to work like part-time jobs at edible arrangements. So that's kind of like the downside.
Edible arrangements are pretty good though.
They are good.
But you can't get high on your own supply.
Exactly. They're really expensive, as good as the pineapple is. And then, for my gap year, I did a little bit of mosquito genetic engineering research, which I started back in college. And our job was creating a transgenic model of the Aedes aegypti mosquito with the end goal of kind of wiping them all out, right? So we had like one wing was the Anopheles mosquito, carries the malaria. We want to like vaccinate those genetically. And then the other one was Aedes, but it carries like 5+ different viruses. And so the idea was just to kind of wipe it out. And that was the goal. It was like super, super cool research, cutting edge stuff. We were the first lab in America at UC Irvine to ever genetically modify a mosquito. It was pretty sick. And I felt pretty proud of my research there, but it like wasn't the right field for me. I think just the fact that the progress is so slow. I'm just like somebody who likes to see progress immediately. And that's why medicine is just like a lot better fit for me. I don't have patience. So
sure.
I just like to go.
Gotcha. So within medicine, how did you wind your way to ophthalmology?
Yeah, I think I didn't really ever think about ophthalmology at all until I got to med school. I didn't really even like fully know what it was. Just having not met any ophthalmologists until my freshman year or first year of med school. And I was rotating through OBGYN, and I think there were some portions, especially like L&D nights, that were just not a great time with some of the residents and just kind of the subject matter. I felt like I didn't belong, and that this was not right for me, and I had a lot of second thoughts. And then I went to ophthalmology. It's fast paced, but also chill when you're there. You're sitting like across from a healthy patient and able to make some small talk with them. And they're like laughing and you're laughing and you're like, oh, like this is nice. Like this is the kind of clinical medicine that I wanted to do. And ultimately I've not regretted that choice very much. I was on call last night, had a pretty solid shift, was able to make diagnoses and I think help some patients, like even in like the 45 minutes to an hour that you see for one patient. Is pretty rewarding,
Is it one problem, more or less?
Yeah, exactly.
A lot more directed, and you're not managing hypertension and diabetes.
Yeah, I don't have like
all at the same time.
I don't have the attention span for that. Like to manage a panel of like 6 or like 18 patients, like our internal medicine colleagues do. There's no way that I can keep people straight. Like people ask me, like, what do you think for this? Like, is so and so? Like, what was her problem? And she was 3 patients ago. I'm like, oh, I've already forgotten about her.
Yeah,
like I like to focus on like the task at hand. It means that you have to think pretty fast. And sometimes you have to like look up things in front of patients, which I do without shame. But ultimately fun, rewarding.
Yeah. Let's do our next wing. So Berman's hot sauce, cayenne pepper sauce. Could just be generic Frank's Red Hot in a different
I'm
looking
a big
bottle.
generic guy. Generic Kaleidos, by the way, which is the Oreo equivalent at Kroger. So I put a plug in for that.
Next question. It's well known that it's a competitive specialty. So when you were in med school, what did you do to stand out?
It's a good question. Not entirely sure. Things I did in medical school, which I think were pretty fulfilling for me and may have been kind of cool. I was at least asked about on the interview trail. I headed up our ophthalmology free clinic. I kind of worked with residents, but mostly attendings, staffing our 160 or so patients on the panel, bringing them in, getting refractions for them, getting them off to cataract surgery, drops for them. That was really fulfilling. A lot of fun working with my friends there too. I did some research. So I probably started late second year, probably for research. Had a couple abstracts. I think I had maybe like 1 or 2 papers in progress or published by the time that I was out. So nothing like crazy, not like neurosurgery numbers or anything like that. And I had some great mentors. And I think what's also really important is just like your letters of recommendation. Ophthalmology is a really tiny field. People talk about other ophthalmologists like you know them because they all know each other. And then you meet a whole bunch of these ophthalmology influencers and kind of famous people in the field. And it's just, you just realize that it's very tiny, especially in academics.
Sure.
And so if you can have the word of somebody that somebody in another program trusts a lot, it's going to go a pretty long way.
Should we move on to our third wing?
Let's do it.
All right. Now we got Frank's Red Hot, Nashville Hot.
Oh, nice. I used to live in Nashville.
Oh, really?
I only mention it all the time. I've been told that I mention it way too often.
It's funny. I actually used to live in Nashville.
Really?
When I was a kid.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right.
Cheers these wings right here.
Cheers. What do we say?
Dinkum and Sinkum.
Dinkum and Sinkum. That's good stuff.
This is nice. This is like an everyday kind of hot sauce.
Yeah. All right. The eyes are often referred to as the window to the soul.
They say that.
Pat, what stories do you have to share about your relationships with your cohort and how that impacted your residency experience?
As far as my co-residents here, class is really strong. We caught a lot of flack early on for being an all-male residency class, which is obviously not really our fault. We didn't really choose that. We just kind of ranked. We just wanted to get into residency. But it's been great. They're all fantastic people. We get along really well. I think the other classes are jealous of how well we all work together. What else? I golfed. I played 18 holes with one of my co-residents today.
That's
Matt Meyer, solid golfer. So yeah, we get along great. It's been fantastic. It makes everything a lot easier to deal with. Do we talk about ophthalmology too much? Yeah. We talk about eyes like all the time. The first thing I did when I woke up today at 11:14 a.m. after my call shift, getting 10 hours of sleep, was text Matt a picture of some of the pictures I took on call. I'm like, Matt, what is this? I just pimped my friends. It's the first thing I do when I wake up. And he got it right because he's a smart guy.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Fourth wing.
Let's do it.
I think it's about to start actually being spicy now. We've got habanero hot sauce, twist and shout.
Nice. I haven't figured this wing. I need to save this one for later.
Yeah. I'm gonna give you these.
Okay.
Do your best to avoid getting grease on them, but don't worry about it too much because they're not mine. David Chenoweth's prescription glasses. Your task is tell me what his prescription is.
Holy shit.
And he'll tell you if you're right or not.
Damn. Blurry.
Okay.
Immediately I can tell it's blurry. Can I have you put these on? It helps when somebody else is wearing them.
Okay.
I'm also not very good at guesstimating prescriptions. Okay. Immediately, first thing I can tell is everything is minified, right? So I can actually see the space at the side of your, kind of at your temples.
Can I take
your eyes
off?
Look smaller. Yeah. Okay. So I can tell that what we have here is a diverging lens. This is a minus lens. Therefore, David is myopic. How myopic David is, I'm going to say pretty myopic because those things look pretty hefty. I'm going to compare him to my buddy Phil. I think he's like a -8. I'm just going to guesstimate here and say, hope I'm a couple diopters off. I'm going to say you're like a -7.
I think I'm a -4.5.
Oh, okay. Actually, you're not that myopic. Okay.
Not that
What if I put them on? I think they do make...
Let's see. I'm not. They do. They fit you well. Thank you. But definitely, so you're a moderate myope.
Is that moderate?
Yeah, moderate.
Oh man, I always thought it was
Plug for mild myopia. Not bad.
myopia.
High myopia is bad. That means your eye is long. It's almost egg shaped.
Football?
It's football, egg, long, elongated sphere. So the way it's been explained to me is that you only have so much eye tissue, right? And if you stretch it, things get thin. So like the retina thins, the choroid thins, the sclera thin a little bit. And what that means is that you're at a higher risk of retinal detachment and some other, at the higher you get some other high myopia related issues. Choroidal neovascular membranes, things like that, breaks the Brooks membrane. But you're not at that level. That's like -6, -8 and higher. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. One of our co-residents is like a -12.
No. Wow.
Yeah. And he's still practicing ophthalmology. He's a much better ophthalmology resident than I am.
For now.
Yeah.
For now. But
we shall see, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, guess what? You're in the care of fantastic ophthalmologists, probably all around you. You probably have people you know are ophthalmologists.
Yeah. I guess
so,
if there's any place to be myopic, highly myopic, Iowa City.
Plug for Iowa City. Great place to be myopic.
Okay. We've talked about a lot of good stuff. We got one wing left.
Okay.
Final frontier. We saw some pretty severe suffering happen on the previous round when they entered the bomb zone.
Okay.
So we're gonna do one single dab.
This is intimidating. I'm like a little scared.
Yeah. The only way out is forward.
All right.
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Dink 'em and sink 'em.
Dink 'em and sink 'em.
Oh yeah. There it is.
It's coming on. It's slow.
Yeah. Yeah. It's getting worse.
Yeah. Very slowly.
Yeah.
It's kind of hit my throat now. And now it's in my sinuses.
Yeah. Let me let's get this question out. All right. So you're a resident at the University of Iowa. One of the top ophthalmology programs in the country. So you've probably seen some wild stuff on call. Yeah. Some things that you may pimp your co-residents on. Can you tell us your craziest eye story while I drink this milk? You can drink
eye
milk.
stuff. Yeah, I might take a little break. I think just like a lot of the things that we see, it helps a lot, by the way. Oh, and it's back again. A lot of the things that we see that cause open globes, usually kind of sad, but some crazy stories. I think one lesson, no ATVs. The number of ATV-related issues that we have, way too high.
Really?
Crossbows that break mid-pole and snap in the eye, not good.
Okay.
We've seen some issues of people who have fallen in front of their tiller on the farm. They've been run over there. People who have been ejected from the front windshield of a car and had lacerations through both their eyes. That's pretty bad. I've heard of a story from a different institution of a man who walked in because he said that there were maggots falling in his cereal. And he basically had maggots that had eaten through a good portion of his orbit, and there was really no eye left, and just kind of occupying half the face.
He didn't notice that he was...
Farmers, they're tough, unbothered.
That's wild.
I think one thing that's also been really humbling is, you put so much mental energy into making diagnoses, not looking dumb, coming up with a treatment plan, keeping patients, straight in their head, that you forgot that you drop a lot of really hard news on people. So even last night on call, I heard about a patient from an outside emergency department, and he has a superior temporal quadranopia. So he's missing a little quadrant in one of his eyes visual field, and he's like, I can't localize it. I don't know where this is in the brain. I just want to send it to you. I'm like, send it on over. If you don't have the issue, he needs an eye exam. And immediately, fun fact for the ophthalmologists out there, very rare that it's going to be caused by a brain problem because it's unilateral, so it localizes anterior to the chiasm. So optic nerve eye, retina. He had a branch retinal artery occlusion, which is like a stroke equivalent. And so I just kind of like flippantly mentioned, we're treating this like a stroke, blah, 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 blah. To get neurology in here, we're going to do carotid Dopplers, we're going to do a CTA, all these kind of things, huge workup. He's like, I have a stroke. I'm like, oh yeah, I did just like tell this man that he had like a stroke and that this puts him at risk of like real, true, like cerebral ischemic strokes. And so I had to kind of stop myself a little bit, slow down and be like, and then really explain it to him. But I was also like really stoked at making this diagnosis because it looked really cool. And just trying to like juggle like my own excitement, and it's 1:00 in the morning, being empathetic, educating the patient, kind of all those things. But I feel like it's gotten easier and easier as the years gone on to kind of do that. So, and then looking at the PGY3s, PGY4s, how confident they are, it's inspiring to know, especially when you feel like extra dumb on call.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. Thanks again for joining us.
Dude, thanks for having me.
Before we sign off, do you have any last words of advice or any more plugs we want to make for our pre-meds or med students?
Reach out to me if you have any questions. I will probably respond to you in a couple of days. I had a lot of really good mentors at other institutions that have given me a lot of good advice as far as like where to apply for residency, application stuff. Just like don't be afraid to reach out.
And thank you, dear viewer, for joining us. We'll see you next time on the next episode of Hot Docs. Have a good night, everyone.
When you're new to a hospital, find a good bathroom. My bathroom, don't take it, is 8th floor F elevator. Okay?
We're gonna cut that out in post.
Good, yeah. Excellent bathroom.